Then we're here in the middle of the winter, and so it's hard really to identify a tree sometimes in the winter. You can see there are no leaves on this tree. This tree's got to be at least 40 feet tall, and it's not really that old. It is a quaking aspen, sometimes called a trembling aspen. Some parts of the country they call them golden aspen because the leaves get a beautiful golden color in the fall. They're also called American aspen. They're even called popple trees or an American poplar. They are in the poplar family. We'll talk a little bit about these. You may see these sometimes and confuse them with birch trees. We don't have any birch trees here in my neck of the woods. I know they have them in a lot of other parts of the country, but these are not birch trees. These are aspen trees. American aspen, trembling aspen, quaking aspen. My dad sometimes calls them quaking ash. And I have a use for them right here. You can see I built a fence around my apple tree. Talked about this in another video. We did this a couple years ago. This is a little Honeycrisp apple tree. I wanted to really see how well these hold up. Now if they're out of the weather in the sense that they're off the ground, looks like they're going to last a good while. Let's think a little bit about the trees. They're a tree that are called quaking aspen because the trees seem to shiver or quake in the wind. Now I'm going to show you one of their leaves. Had a hard time finding these leaves, just to be honest. They are almost round, almost perfectly round, and they have sawtooth edges, kind of uniformed edges. Now try to get some better light there. Also, you see the stems are about as long as the leaf, and so these in the wind will go back and forth very easily, and when the wind blows the tree you can hear it. It's an interesting sound to hear that, and you can see it shake in the wind. This tree is a pretty useful tree in the American woods. What I like about it, and this may not seem to be a great use for a lot of people, I like using it for things like this, making this fencing. A lot of these trees die out because they come up so close together. They die out, and so you have all these trees that are about 4 or 5 inches in diameter, and they're in an area. They take over an area. Sometimes you have to cut them out. You can use them for this. You can use them for shelter material, but they also have many medicinal uses. The American Indians use these trees for sore eyes. Some part of the tree they used for sore eyes. The inner bark can be used as an anti-inflammatory. The same acid that is in a willow or, my understanding, in these trees, and so you can take that inner bark and you can chew on it. It is an anti-inflammatory, something like aspirin, but I would be careful about that. And I have been told that a woman that's pregnant should not be out here chewing on the inner bark of these trees. Also, you want to be careful how much you take. And you can also, I suppose, overdose. You can get too much of these and they can make you sick. The leaves can be used for insect bites. Crush those up with a little bit of water, crush those up and put those on insect bites, and they'll be used as an anti-inflammatory. Also, on some of these trees, on the south side of the tree, there's a powdery substance. Now, these trees here don't have it. I don't know if that is only certain times of the year or bigger trees, but they have a powdery substance that can be used for sunscreen. Also, that powdery substance can be used, I don't know that I would do this, but you can gather up some of it and put it in a dough and use it to make a sourdough starter. Some of the other uses that these trees are good for, I mentioned the shelter, I mentioned building fences. They are used in some furniture. Pioneers use them in log cabins somewhat. They weren't preferable, but if that's all you had, you were clearing out an area, and as long as you didn't use them for the bottom, perhaps they would have been good at least for a while. As far as firewood is concerned, these trees aren't great for firewood. at all. 16.5 million BTUs per cord. That's about half of what oak is. And so if you're burning this, you're going to burn roughly twice as much as you would with a wood such as oak. They're used for pulpwood in the making of paper. Morris Kohansky advises using these types of trees, or these types of trees can be used to make bow and drill fireboard sets. I'm going to try that and give that a go here in a little bit. Also, the bark can be shaved off and used to make baskets. Some of the bigger trees, I imagine, a little easier can be used for that. The wood's tasteless, so it can be used for bowls, spoons, cups, even used for tongue depressors. The tree lives to be about 60 to 80 years old, and it's a nice tree to have. I've talked about them sometimes almost like they're multiflora rose, like they're a nuisance tree. They really aren't. They're really a nice tree to have. They're native American trees, and they're just nice to have on your property for various uses. You might have some other uses or some other identifying characteristics of these trees or other things that you may know about these trees. If you do, post a comment down below. I'm certainly not an expert on them, but I'd like to know more about them. Thank you much for watching this short video. We appreciate it, and you have a great day.